Hello, 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 everybody. Hello, my goal inspired professionals. I am so happy to be here today, and I'm so happy to have you here today, guys. So, what I want you to do is to put hashtag live in the comments if you are watching live. Put hashtag live. And if you are watching on the replay, because this is being streamed to Facebook, LinkedIn, and the YouTube. So I see Nasir here. Hi, Nasir. How are you? Nasir is from India. How is it, Nasir? What time is it down there? And Jay is here live. So welcome, welcome, guys. So I am so excited to be here. And most of you need, but you just saw that on LinkedIn and decide you're going to tune in. As you know, Yvonne Robbins Jackson on LinkedIn, and I am your career advancement coach. And what I do, I get you hired. I get you hired and elevate your income by communicating your best message. And that is what I'm all about. So I have had at least four high paying jobs that I've had in the past experience. And I thought this would be a wonderful thing to talk about today, how to get hired with no experience. And I see Hima here. Oh, nice to see Hima. Oh, wonderful. Nasir, let me highlight Nasir. Jay's here. Markeith is here, and I have a LinkedIn user. And some of the folks are streaming in. So it is so wonderful to see all of you here. And there are some people on this stream who knows what I'm talking about when I say I get you hired, because I've done this before. Okay. So that's a wonderful thing. I see Libner here. Hi, Libner. It's so nice for you to tune in. And I'm so happy to have you here. So, okay, guys. So we are talking today about how to get a job with no experience. And this is very important because I know most of the jobs that you see that are advertised or put on LinkedIn or on the different job boards, they're asking you for loads and loads and loads of experience. And a lot of times, some of these jobs are process oriented and they do not need all that experience that they're asking for, right? So today we're going to see how we can get those jobs. It is very important. So what are we talking about when we talk about no experience, right? It can mean different things to people. And I'm just going to go back through this slide that I used before. It can mean that you have no practical experience, right? And we know we all have experience, but I'm going to let you know how to draw those experiences. It can also mean that you have the experience, but it is not enough to apply for those jobs that are asking you for 5 to 10 years of experience, right? 5 to 10 years. Okay. So we want to talk about how you get these jobs, and some of these jobs with no experience. Some of them you cannot apply for, but there are some that you can apply for. And that's what we want to talk about, right? Now, how are you going to stand out in a sea of professionals? How are you going to stand out in a crowded market? How are you going to do this? It is very important, guys, that you are able to stand out in a crowded market. And I see a lot of people talking about on LinkedIn and personal brand, and some of us are timid because guess what? We're not the Kardashians, okay? So don't come to talk to me about no personal brand. Because when you work with an organization, guys, when you work with a company like I was working with before, it is difficult for you to be out there being vulnerable. You're going to get fired. Okay. So let us not fool ourselves and talk about, oh, you got this. But what you need is what we call a professional brand, right? Personal brand. Leave that to the people who are going out there and throw their person out there. But we are going to talk about a professional brand because you want to stand out. You want to stand out among a sea of professionals on LinkedIn. How the hell do you find a job on LinkedIn when there are a million profiles up there, when job seekers are looking for certain people what is going to make them stop by you and talk to you and send you a message about a particular job? It is very important that all those things come together, okay? So we're also going to talk about how to stand out a little bit on LinkedIn. This masterclass is not about LinkedIn because I've done others about LinkedIn before, but this one is strictly how to get those jobs. But I have to bring in LinkedIn. I have to bring in things about the resume and all that because they all go hand in hand, okay? All right. So most jobs ask for experience and qualifications, right? Experience and qualifications, right? Okay. So experience is a practical knowledge. We all have experience in some way. These are the practical skills that you gain, whether you gain it from a job or you gain it from school. But some people go to school and when they leave school, they say, I don't have the experience, I can't apply for the job. That's not true. You have experience, but you have to know how you're going to repurpose that experience on your resume, right? So these are things that you have done before. So if you went to a technical college like Willis College and you did IT and you learn how to do pen testing for the cybersecurity, you learned how to do it. You also have hands-on. You don't come out of Willis College or Algonquin College or the colleges and say, I do not have any experience, right? You do have the experience, but how do you communicate the experience on your resume? That is very important, right? So you have to know how to communicate that. Qualifications, a condition or a standard that must be complied with as for the attainment of privilege. Okay, we know what they're talking about, your degrees and your certification. If a job specifically say they want these certifications and it is mandatory requirement, then you're not going to apply because you don't have the mandatory requirement. So this is not today. I'm not going to tell you how to read a job description. Honestly, I need to do a webinar to show you how to read a job description and repurpose it on your resume. But that is not that one today. You got to follow me because I do these live master classes all the time. This one is, generally speaking, how you are going to get that job. Okay, so that's what this one is about. Okay, so what I want you to know, and I put it in big bold, is that you have skills. You have skills. You have a lot of skills. So what I want you to focus on is not just the experience and the qualification. When you're looking for a job, you have to focus on your skills, right? And we are going to talk about what skills. All right, so I'm going to stop a little bit and just look at some of our folks here. I want to say welcome to Ayo, if I just say that. Samuel, welcome, Juliet. And Robert is here. Emmanuel is here. I just want to acknowledge it, right? Okay. So I want to welcome Emmanuel, and Emmanuel had a little nice thing to say about me. Thank you, Emmanuel. I just like this video even before it gets started. Thank you, Emmanuel. Follow me on LinkedIn, and you know that I'm an energetic person, and I will help you to get hired, right? So that's a wonderful thing. Okay, so, and also follow me on YouTube and everywhere, and Facebook too, okay? So I just want to let you know that you have skills. You do. You have skills. So what you are going to do, and what I'm going to show you how to do, is before you even start looking for a job, and answer me, guys. Before you start looking for a job, do you do anything like a mapping of your skills? Do you do a skills analysis? Do you do a skills analysis before you go there, start looking for a job? Right, so put a comment there. Let me know if you do it. If you know, just be honest with me. I'm a little honest lady over here, right? I am. What you see with me is what you get, right? WISU. What you see is what you get. How they did that in IT again? What you see is what you get with me, right? So I want you to be honest with me and let me know. Wait, before you start looking for a job, do you do a skills analysis? Because Robert says yes, thank you, Juliet. Not really, Juliet says. And the reason why I ask this, guys, is because I have met so many, and I work with job seekers, and a lot of times, especially those leaving school or even people changing careers, they don't know what kind of job they're applying for, right? I was talking to a gentleman last week, and he said he did not know what kind of job he was applying for, yet he sent out almost 100 resumes. You have to know the type of job you're applying for. And just for a little joke here, my Robert says I got mad skills. I know if you follow Robert on LinkedIn, you know he has a lot of job skill, mad skills. He tells you how to ask the right questions, right? Hima says she analyzes, and Libna says he has no clue. So I've seen Libna on LinkedIn looking and making comments on there, looking for a job. So I hope you're going to get something from this today. So, okay, skills. You have the skills. What you're going to do is conduct a skills analysis. I put it in big bold. So if you don't remember anything from this webinar today, from this masterclass today, you know, before you go and look for the job, conduct a skills analysis, okay? And let us do a quick one. Let us go through some things. You have self-management skills, you have transferable skills, and you have job-related skills. So the skills that we're focusing on is not just the job-related skills, because if you only focus on the job-related skills, you might not get that job. Okay? You're not going to get the job if you only focus on the job related, because they list it and say you must have this and you must have that and you must have that. Okay? So we want to make sure that you focus on the different skills. Now, there are self-management skills. Companies like to hire people who have good self-management skills, especially during pandemic and post-pandemic, when you are going, most of the jobs you get are going to require you to work remotely. Some of the skills that you need to work remotely are self-motivation, patience, accountability, time management, loyalty. Okay, so Yvonne, I have them. What do I do? Do I just go list them on my resume? No. You use these skills to repurpose your resume. For example, if you just list team, I am good with team on your resume, listing a whole stuff. People call them, I see the Americans do this a lot. They call them core skills. List a whole chunk of core skills. I really don't believe in that, because when I go to your resume, I go straight to the experience section to see what you have done with a team. You work with a team to do something, right? You do this organization stuff. You know, you write your resume to organize something. You work with a team. All right. This is not about the resume, because I have done a masterclass about resume. And as I said, I'm going to do another one to tell you how to start writing your resume by using the action words, what you do, for whom, and the results. So while you're writing your resume like that, what you've done, for whom, and for what project, and the results, especially these IT people, the IT resume is the easiest resume to write because it's so practical, right? I worked in IT tech for 15 years, and these resumes are the easiest ones. The people who have the problem are the office managers and the business analysts, and sometimes not so much the project managers, but those people who have to use a lot of the transferable skills on their resume, right? So when you're writing a resume, you don't go list a whole bunch, half a page of core skills and say, oh yeah, they're going to think I have the job, the experience. No, you're going to say what you have done with these skills. Okay, so those are self-management skills, and every company wants people who have these skills. Okay, then the next set of skills that are very critical for you, especially when you're changing jobs, are your transferable skills, because employers like them because they allow you to adapt quickly to their internal processes. Remember, when a company is hiring you guys, a company hires you because they have a problem to solve, right? They're not hiring you because you're on LinkedIn looking for a job. You're not hiring you because they like you, right? I used to think that the people at my company did not like me, right? Because I'm the type of person I'm always working, and I'm always, I don't do a lot of partying and stuff like that. But then I discovered that they like me because I was producing results. So when people are hiring you, they're hiring you because you have a problem. They have a problem to solve, and they're going to hire the best person who can prove on their resume that they can solve that problem. So I'm going to highlight something. And Sylvia said, I only have been reviewing my skill sets to determine the change I may want for my next career. Well, it is good that you review the skill sets and all those skills, right? Both transferable core skills and all that, personal skills and all that, Sylvia, so that you can know where you can take that to. Okay, and I'm just gonna say hi to Sarmin here. Nice to have you, Sarmin. Some people are tuning in from India. They're waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning to watch this, so I appreciate you all. Okay, transferable skills are the general skills that do not belong to a particular niche, industry, or a job. So when you're writing your I need water. When you're writing your resume, you should actually write the resume to bring out some of these problem solving, teamwork, and communication skills. And I have a whole list for you here that you can screenshot, right? For organization, leadership, problem solving. So when you're writing your resume, you have to make sure if you're good with data, if you have analyzed anything, right, with data, and if you have the tools, say what tools you have used to analyze the data and the results, and you make the presentation. That is how you write your resume. Your resume is like a story, right? I've seen so many job descriptions, especially coming out of the Canadian federal government. They always want the people to, even the presentation skills, to say that they make presentation to senior management. Because when you write your resume like that, people know that you're interacting with senior management. You don't even have to go and put that, oh, I have communication skills. You can write your resume and don't even say communication. Because when you're making presentation to senior management, you're communicating. So you have to write your resume that way, guys, not listing a bunch of stuff on there, right? Say what you do on the job, right? And say how you work within a team, you work on a project and what the results were. And that is a kind of results-oriented resume. I wish I had the time today to go through the results-oriented resume, right? But remember, you don't go listing a bunch of things and a bunch of tasks on your resume. And as I say, this is not for the resume, but these are some transferable skills that I wanted to highlight, right? Teamwork is one good one that should come out in your resume. Time management is one. Organization is one. Problem solving and creativity. And if you're good with data is a good one that should come out in your resume, because nowadays everything is centered around data. So all those IT people here, all those project management who are here, all those office managers and business managers, as a matter of fact, everybody, if you are on the help desk, if you are in customer service, you are using data, okay? Now, the next one, job-related skills. So this is a tricky one. This is specific to the job. So if it is for coder or web developer, they're skilled at coding. Listen, you cannot learn coding in a week on Udemy, okay? So if you find a job asking you to code with .NET framework or Java framework, and don't go and apply for that job if you can't code with Java, right? So these are different. Accountant performs accounts receivable and payables. An auditor, all right? You don't learn that stuff overnight. My first degree was in accounting. I worked with the Cayman Islands government for almost 4 years. I could not get that job if I did not have the accounting. So just remember, guys, that the skills, there's a self-management, there's a transferable skills, and there is a job-related skills. So you do not have some, you have others. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit more about what happened if you don't have the exact related experience. And this is the good part, right? What happens? Okay, Yvonne, what happens if I don't have the exact related skills? Okay. you are to discuss your experience and the tools that you have used that are similar. For example, if you are working on a project and they ask you for CA Clarity, which is a tool that is used to do master schedules on big projects, but you have MS Project Server, you're going to say you have MS Projects, so you work with the project and get the results using MS Project Server, which is similar to CA Clarity. You know what that does for you? That does a couple things. That helps you to get your resume in the system and get a recruiter to pull out your resume with your Boolean search from the ATS. So you hear people on LinkedIn talking about the ATS, and I always come back to the ATS. And the reason why I do this is because most of the jobs you apply for, you're applying through a computer. You're putting it through your computer, it goes into a system where a recruiter on the other side has to pull it out. And for those IT people here, no, they can't pull just, it doesn't fall through the system, but they have to do what they call a Boolean search to get your resume out of the system. And if you have the right words in there, we call them the keywords, and that would be MS Project Server and not CA Clarity, then your resume is still going to be taken out by the recruiter because you did have the word CA Clarity in there. But you said, I've done this and I with this tool, which is similar to. So now you get your resume in the hands of the recruiter, and then the recruiter start reviewing your resume to say, oh, this is a good person. They have this and they have that. They don't have exactly that tool, or they don't have the exact thing, but it's a good resume for review. Okay. All right. Because remember, guys, the person who writes the job description is looking for what we call the ideal candidate. It is not all the time they are going to find the ideal candidate. So it doesn't mean that if you don't meet 100%, you can't apply, right? However, you should have most of the requirements, and there's a way to figure that out, okay? So I am going to highlight Sidar. I'm the only one who feels my PhD is so different from my job requirements, I feel I'm not a fit. Okay. All right, it depends on, first of all, you should not be looking at the job requirements before you figure out, Sidar, what job you are looking for, especially with PhDs. And I'm glad you're here because next week, and I was going to say this at the end, I'm bringing on Dr. John Tam, right, who is a PhD. He's a PhD from Oxford, and he also deals with a lot of people who have PhDs. My daughter has a PhD, and when she got her PhD, I was a little bit having some butterflies in my stomach, but she followed my system. She followed my process, and she found a job in 3 weeks. All right, go find her, ask her. She found a job in 3 weeks because of following a system. You got to follow a system because you guys don't go to school and learn how to find jobs. You guys don't do this 24/7 like when I did it for 15 years, 24/7. So I know it is very, very difficult when you come out of school with a PhD and you think you can only do research. And it is not so. There's a lot of things that you can do. So you're going to list those skills, Sidar, and make sure that you are applying for the right job. Okay? And Robert, what kind of trouble is Robert making now? Robert say, I'm going to ask her. Robert, what kind of trouble are you making? All right, so we're going to go back to this, guys. We're going to talk some more about this. Let us talk about, so the job-related skills. Remember the key. This is a key. This is a key. This is key. This is my secret sauce. You got to discuss the experience and tools that you have that are similar. How many people have been doing that? How many people, if you don't have the particular experience, you are able to say on your resume, you have done such a work, the results and everything with a similar tool. Remember, tools are tools, guys, and you can learn tools. You can learn the Java in 2 weeks. You can learn the .NET in 2 weeks, but you can learn to use Microsoft Project in a few weeks. Okay? You can learn to use any tool in a few weeks. When I was hired at EDS, it's now HP. I did not know they wanted me to know how to use ARS Remedy Action Request System. I never did use a Remedy before. I went on the job, they put Remedy in front of me. What did you think I did? I use Remedy. Because most of these systems are user-friendly, and all you need to do is sit down and concentrate, and you get to use them. So when they're tools, you can use the tool, right? Don't worry about tools, okay? So if they're asking you for some specific tools, you can even say you have it, go start reading it right away. You have the experience, you have the knowledge. You can say you have the knowledge, right? And put it in your resume that you have the knowledge using ARS or some system. But if you don't go and study and work on it, don't say you have it, okay? You have to go get the knowledge. You can do quick courses on some of these tools. These guys are not paying me, Udemy, but I could say that they have some things there that you can go and learn, okay? All right. The next thing I want to tell you is that the basic principles of job searching does not change. You need a comprehensive job searching strategy, guys. So I see people on LinkedIn looking for work and your profile is not optimized. How do you think the people are going to find you? Who's going to stop by your profile of 500,000 profiles and look for you? Right? How are you attracting the people to your resume that you post on LinkedIn? So you need a comprehensive job searching strategy. You need two basic tools: a killer resume, a customized resume. You need a resume. I put killer there because I wanted to emphasize that you need a resume. Now, you can customize a resume if you don't have a job description. But if you have a role that you know that you want to apply for, you can customize your resume to the role, right? Because that is going to be your prospecting resume, different from the resume that you're using to apply for a job. And don't ask me if you have to do more than one resumes. Yes, but remember, if you follow a good resume system and you have a good prospecting resume, when you're applying for the various jobs, all you need to do is tweak those up, right? And save them on your database and put resume for whichever company, but you still have your basic resume that is clean and uncluttered, not no fancy pictures, we went through that. So I'm not going to go through that today, but your resume must be clean and uncluttered. No boxes, no fancy shapes and stuff like that, because there are reasons why you should not do that. So if the person who is giving you a resume template, I don't believe in templates. So if the person who is giving you a resume framework, I have a framework, does not understand that you can't put fancy boxes and fancy lines and stuff like that on your resume, it's not helping you. It's not like previous when you used to walk into people's office and drop off your resume. That was okay. In years ago when I used to have a resume, I used to like a border. No, you don't do that these days, right? Because times have changed, right? So you're going to need two basic tools. There are other tools: your killer resume and your optimized LinkedIn profile. Okay, you're going to need those. All right, so let us keep going. So you need your killer resume and your optimized LinkedIn profile. Okay, so are you with me, guys? You see why you need to have your LinkedIn profile and your resume? Those are the two basic things. You write your resume first, then you go to LinkedIn and optimize your profile. Right? So that when they are looking for you, they can find you, or they will stop. When a recruiter is on LinkedIn, okay, let me tell you how a recruiter behaves. When I was with the former company up until March, I was not on LinkedIn like now. I'm on LinkedIn almost 24/7 now because I'm looking for people to help. When I was a recruiter or a director at the former company, I was not on LinkedIn until I have a job in my hand that I'm looking for somebody for. So don't think recruiters are on LinkedIn looking for you every minute. No, they have a job to do. So they are looking for people for specific jobs, and they know the kinds of jobs that they get. And even if they are not looking for that particular job at the moment, but they know that tomorrow they might get one from Amazon or whatever company hires them to work for you, or the Canadian federal government, they're going to stop by your profile and they're going to send you a message like I used to. I used to send people's message all 12 o'clock in the night. And I say, I saw your profile on LinkedIn. You look like you'd be a good person for a job for the Canadian federal government, because I hire project managers with cloud and agile and stuff all the time. And we have some conversations and they get to know me. People do business with you, they say, if they know you, like and trust you. So I develop a lot of trust relationship with my recruiters, with my job seekers, and they develop a lot of good trust relationship with me. And just to let you know that in the future, I'm also going to do a live stream about how to build a relationship with a recruiter, because that is very important. Okay. All right. So let us continue this so I don't stray too much, because I like to give you a whole lot of stuff, right? So there is no certified way to write a resume. Even though I'm saying that you need to follow a framework and a good, decent resume framework, remember, guys, there's no certified way. So you're going to use something that is very good for you. I'm not going to come on here and say, I like to do resumes, give me your resume, and if you don't do it like exactly how I say it, it's not going to work. No, that's not true. But you have to know that there are better resume frameworks than others, and there are some frameworks that will get you noticed quicker than others. It is your choice. So you customize the resume to suit your needs, but it should follow some basic practices, right? And I'm going to give you a quick one. This is what I call my winning resume format, and you don't have to do all of it, because remember, if you're not a PhD, you do not have publications. So I'm only highlighting here that you need to have your contact information. You need to have a profile or a career summary. The career summary sort of takes the place of a letter, right? Because nowadays, when we used to snail mail things, we used to snail mail the resume, and we used to snail mail a letter, cover letter, because it covers the resume. You don't need that these days. If they don't ask you for a cover letter, you don't have to send one. I have recruited for 15 years and I never read one, okay? So don't waste your time and stress yourself out. But if they ask you for one, you should send one, okay? So follow the process. Selected professional experience, and I say selected. Why selected? Because you're not giving me your whole life story. There are certain things you've done in your career that I don't care about. So you're only going to select the ones that are relevant to the job. So when you write your master resume in your database, it should have everything. It should have your job history, right? That should have your job history. But when you are writing your resume for a particular job, it's selected professional experience, okay? Then you're going to have your technical summary, your certifications, and your language profile. If you're in Canada, Canadian federal government like to know when you're bilingual English and French. You want to put it there so that they know that you're bilingual English and French. Not so sure about the US, but I think there are some jobs in US that you might have to do that too, right? They need Spanish and they need English. You might have to put that too. But remember, it's not that difficult, right? And these ones that I have in gold here, if you don't have volunteer experience, you don't have to write it. If you don't have publications, you don't. If you don't have professional memberships, you don't, right? But remember, you can take this framework and write your resume. Now, I have a resume framework, and I'm going to tell you where to get it after, okay? So remember that your resume must be clean and uncluttered. Okay, so talk to me now, guys, and let me know, what do you think about what I've said so far? Right? I have Markeith here that says he's taking class to help him highlight his skill set. Yes. And when you're applying for a job, Markeith, remember that you are applying for a job with certain skills, and you might find that there's a gap, right? After you do a skills analysis and look at the job that you're going to apply for, you might find that there's a gap. And so you go and take some courses to fill in the gaps, right? This is a whole thing about career. You know, as you know, I'm not about a job. You can find a job anywhere. But when you're looking at your career, you have to be a little bit more intentional about it, right? And I know we all like careers because guess what? It pays the bills, right? It pays the bills. So that is very important, guys. That's why I stress for career. I've taken a lot of people out of poverty by finding them good jobs. So I love career. I love to talk about this stuff. Okay. All right. So 4 steps to the job with no experience. 4 steps to finding the job with no experience. You decide on the job you want based on your skills analysis, because remember, we're going to list those skills and experiences that can be transferred to the job. Okay. So you're going to find the job you want. Look at those transferable skills. Recraft your resume for the role. Optimize your LinkedIn profile. If you don't want to do the LinkedIn part, then that's you. That's okay. But nobody's going to find you. When they search for you, the companies that have the LinkedIn Recruiter Board, we had LinkedIn Recruiter Board, and I was the SME for the LinkedIn Recruiter Board, so I know how it works. It is SEO optimized. So if your resume is not optimized, when the company is looking for you, it's not going to pull you up. And we also, in the recruiter board, use a Boolean search. So when people are talking about ATS, this ATS, I'm afraid of ATS, you got afraid of ATS. LinkedIn is also an ATS, right? They're all out there. So we just have to make sure we optimize your resume, right? So you're going to optimize your LinkedIn profile and make sure you have a good profile. It's similar to your resume, but not exactly. The LinkedIn profile is written in the first person and your resume is written in the third person. Remember that, all right? If you haven't talked to me before, you will know this. Some people know it, some don't. Then you're going to conduct a comprehensive job searching strategy, including networking, using LinkedIn and other tools. And I'm going to tell you about the other tools, how that works. All right. I'm giving it to you all today, guys. I'm giving it to you all today. If after today you don't know how to do it, maybe you need a little bit more help, but this is it. You just don't take your resume. You just don't build the best mousetrap and leave it. You're going to have to, get the people to find your mousetrap, okay? Our mousetrap. How are we going to get the people to find our mousetrap? And this is the way. Now, this is my LinkedIn Hub blueprint that I created when my daughter was looking for a job over 2 years ago with her PhD. I was a little nervous in my stomach, and I decided to help her, to give her a process, and I used the process to create my process for helping people, and I've helped so many people on LinkedIn and all over the world. You go on the job searching site. So I hear people saying, oh, forget job searching sites. I have a lot of people who find jobs on job searching sites and they apply and they get the job, but they apply to the companies and they get the job, but they don't leave it there. After you apply for the job, you go take it back to LinkedIn. So that's why I call it my LinkedIn Hub blueprint, because LinkedIn is the hub. You go on the sites, right? You apply for the jobs, go on LinkedIn and have the conversation. You go on LinkedIn and have the conversation. Okay? All right, guys. All right. Let me put a little comment in the here. Tell me if you like my LinkedIn Hub blueprint. Who likes my LinkedIn Hub blueprint? Right? Who you like my LinkedIn Hub blueprint, right? So you go on the job searching sites, you go on the company sites, and don't let your resume fall into a black hole. And how you're going to do that is that you go back to LinkedIn, right? Hima says, thank you, Hima. She loves it. Because I have worked with a lot of people. There's a young lady in Africa, and I love her so much because she followed my process. I would love a lot of people. I love a lot of people, but I have to love the ones who follow my process and be intentional about it. And she went back to LinkedIn and she talked to me. She also talked at my retirement. And because she was telling them how she found a job in 3 weeks. She said after she got the job, she's from Africa, my friend. She's in Africa. She called me auntie. because people call me auntie, right? I have nieces all over the world. He asked them, would you have called me or would you have hired me? And they said no. It's my LinkedIn Hub blueprint. Bryce said he likes it. Shidar says it's really nice. You have to have the conversation, guys, and Juliet likes it. So you have to have the conversations, or else your resume are going to fall into a black hole. And how you have the conversations is to make sure you craft a nice message. A young lady messaged me the other day, and we developed a relationship. I don't know half of these people. I meet them on LinkedIn because I'm on there so much. As you can see, I'm very active on LinkedIn. And she wanted to reach out to a recruiter. And she crafted a message, and she said, what do you think? I said, no, that sounds like you're begging. Don't do that message. I quickly crafted one. She sent the message out to the recruiter, and before the day was out, she got message back. They were interviewed. They want to interview her, so they interview her, and then she got a second interview. You have to have the conversations, right? Now, Libner says, when you say have conversation, how do you start connecting with someone working at big tech company like Microsoft? They're all on LinkedIn, Libner. They're all on LinkedIn, right? Right? You have to start the conversation with people, but you have to find a way. Okay, some people email me on LinkedIn and say, hi, how are you? And I want to not respond, but I love to, I respond to everybody's crazy. And I said, how can I help you? You know, I am busy, guys. Even though I'm on LinkedIn, I'm busy because I'm running a company, right? But it's my business place, right? Now, I am on LinkedIn, and you're going to email me and say, hi, how are you? No, come on, don't do that. If you have a question to ask, I'm running a business, guys. It takes me time to respond to you. Ask me a question, right? If I can answer you the question, I will answer the question. If I can point you to a resource, I'll point you to a resource. If that person was looking for a job and wanted to find a job and don't know what to do, I'll probably point them to my YouTube channel where they have loads of information where they can go land and learn. But don't just say, hi, how are you? That's not a good way. Plus, what I teach in a program that I have is how to craft your message. You have to find a way to craft your message. Don't let your resume fall into a black hole, okay? Now, Juliet says, I'm a good teacher. Juliet, I was a trained teacher. I was trained at Teachers College, 3 years, and then I did a year, and then I worked with kindergarten, and I worked with high school, and I also worked with university. I was, before I came to Canada, I worked at the University of Technology in Jamaica as a professor. So if I sound like a teacher, I am a teacher. And when I work with career professionals, I do not write resume for people. Somebody said, can you look at my resume? Guys, it's going to take me 2 hours, right? Because I just don't look at your resume. I dig into it, okay? So when I work with people, I teach them how to write their resume because people are paying $300 to resume writers. Why? It's better you learn how to write your own resume, that if you get the job and 2 years you work there and decide you're going to move again, you can write your own resume, right? So I teach people how to write their own resume. I don't write it for you. I've done resumes 15 years, place a lot of people, right? We customize the resumes. We have to match it to a grid because we were working for the Canadian federal government. You have to have the grid one side, the requirements on that, right? The resume, and then you customize it because I looked at 20 page. I have a consultant. He had a resume which was over 30 pages. Okay. How do you go through that? So I know how to customize a resume. You know, it's not just like, you know, I had a job, I got fired a year, and then I was on LinkedIn, right? And then I was on LinkedIn as a career coach. No, I've done this, right? So Pat Lawrence. Hi, Patricia. How are you? Patricia must be from Jamaica. The Jamaica teaching methodologies are clear in your presentation and approach. Nice job. Yes, I learned to teach in Jamaica. I went to Micro Teachers College, a Micro University now, and I also went to the University of Technology and I taught at UTech. So I have all that behind me. So when I'm working with people, guys, I teach them what to do. Okay, so that's a lot about me. I want to continue to talk about you now. Now, there are 3 YouTube videos that I have that you must watch. Winning resume that gets you the job. I did that. That was one of my first videos. So if it doesn't look fancy, the information is there. Winning job searching strategies to get the job and how to get jobs using LinkedIn is gold. Okay. There's a resume format up there. It's a resume framework in my Career Booster bundle because it's a little bundle. It gives you some tips about your resume too, how to make it ATS friendly a little bit. If you go to YouTube, it's not Yvonne Robinson. There were too many Yvonne Robinsons, so I had to call myself my company name, Goal Inspired Career Coaching. So if you go, I think it is being scrolled on StreamYard right now. Goal Inspired, oh, that is my website. Goal Inspired Career Coaching, right? So if you watch those videos, guys, land and learn. If you are looking for a job, instead of sending out 100 resumes, learn first. Learn how to do your resume, then you go craft it. It's going to take you time, but it's going to save you a lot of headaches in the end. Learn to write your resume, guys. Don't give somebody your resume to write. Find a way to learn, because when you write a resume, you have to customize your resume for every job. You need your prospecting resume that is customized to the role. And then you need to customize your resume for every job that you are applying for. Okay. So is that okay, guys? Does that make sense? Right? Does that make sense? All right. So Patricia is here. Juliet is here. Juliet is from Jamaica. She's from Jamaica and first, right out of Jamaica. My friend Bryce is from Nigeria. And Markeith likes my blueprint. You have to be intentional. So thanks for these comments, guys. So yes, very important, guys. Listen, you know my saying, I crafted that. Career goals are life goals. If you're going to, if I came to Canada and I didn't find a job, I would have to open up a business and I was thinking of doing that because you have to pay the bills. And the objective of finding a job and having a business is the same. So you should treat your career like a business, your career as a business of one. Okay? So do you have any questions for me right now? I'm going to open it up to maybe a few minutes of questions. I'm going to tell you some more stuff, what's coming up and all that. So let me know if you have any questions for me. Libna, I want you to put a comment there, Libna, and tell me if this was helpful, because I saw you on LinkedIn and I know you were very confused. Libna, is this helpful? Okay, thank you. All right, Tojin is from Nigeria. Yes, thank you. Yes, I have some friends from Nigeria. They use my process, and right now they have landed some good jobs. The young lady pivoted in 3 weeks. I'm so proud of her. Right, she pivoted, and it is not easy to pivot careers. Right, and to get a job in 3 weeks, she was looking she was on here for like 6 months. Right, I should put some next time I'll show you some social proof. But guys, I don't have to show you, just go on my LinkedIn page and read what the people have said. The last one of the ladies, she was looking for an accounting job and her resume was not reading like an accountant, and I had to go back and find out, what did you do here and what did you do there? Well, did you do this? Did you do that? Yes, it's not on your resume. Not on the resume. Listen, your resume must be dummy proof because you're writing the resume and you know it. But the person who is reading your resume, right? The person who is reading your resume doesn't know your history. They don't know your work experience. Don't assume anything. This is one time when to assume makes the A out of you and me. Do not assume that the person reading your resume can figure it out. And that's what we always say to our consultants. Now, Libna says he's a bit warped with the advice in the past. Okay, so what you do, Libna, drink one Kool-Aid at a time. If you're following me for maybe another week or two, drink my Kool-Aid. Try it. But on LinkedIn, there's a lot of bad advice. I'm going to say there's a lot of bad advice up there. Some days my hair stand up in my head, and I have ethnic hair, and it's not supposed to stand up, right? It's supposed to curl, right? And I have done this so long, right? Well, being upfront with your recruiter, scare them off from the meeting. No, it depends on what you say to your recruiter. I was a recruiter, right? I was a recruiter, Libna. I was a recruiter, and I'm going to do a live next month with Amy, my recruiting squad there. They're from the United States. Amy and another lady, and we're going to talk about how you should have how to develop relationship with a recruiter, because my consultants that I had in Canada here, a lot of them are on LinkedIn, and I met a lot of them face to face. I did good relationships with these guys. You have to develop a relationship with your recruiter, and remember that people do business with who they like and trust. They call it now in business who they know, like, and trust. So if you are working with recruiters, guys, people are not bad. Everybody I talk to want to talk to me, and I'm no different from you. So it depends on how you approach it. If you're not going to be nice to people, they're not going to be nice to you, okay? So you got to be nice to people, and every recruiter wants to talk to you, because guess what? You make their job easier. Instead of spending a whole day trying to find somebody, no. When I was recruiting, I developed relationships with people. They give me leads. They give me everything. Why do you think I could make $200,000 as a recruiter? Right? I'm telling you right now, telling you a bit of my secret, right? Okay. Coming up on GICC live show. What's coming up? Next week, same time, same place. We're going to talk to Jonathan Tam. He is a career change. He's a career change specialist, career clarity, right? He has a PhD from Oxford, and he did not go and find a job. He started his career as a coach, and so he's going to talk about, because I know I have a lot of PhD people in my community too. My daughter is a PhD, as I tell you, and I only work with people who are like-minded, because he has the same concept like me. And guess what? I have the show coming up on the 27th. You got to see this one. This is going to be huge. 2 generations are going to meet. We have Justin Guarini. Anybody remember him? He was from the American Idol, right? He is businessman, career confidence, right? He talks about unshakable confidence, and he's going to be here on the 27th of July. So I talk about career goals, our life goals. And he says a business person serves to create at the highest level. So that is going to be great, guys. So I want you to tune in next week if you want to listen to Jonathan Tam, and you can tune in if you want to if you want to hear from Justin, right? Because it is going to be so great, guys. It's going to be great. Now, I know I was going to spend all afternoon with you, because I like to give you everything. I don't hold back. I do not hold back. So comment below and let me know if this was very helpful. If you need more help, but you can go and land and learn, guys. You can land and learn on my YouTube channel, because there is a lot there for you that you can land and learn if you don't know. If you need more, you can do me. I can help you with personal one-on-one coaching. But I always send people, go land and learn. Unless you're having problems and can't figure it out yourself, I will help you to figure it out. And Marquise says, Auntie, I love your honesty. Thank you, Marquise. I tell you, I have a lot of children on LinkedIn. Thanks for the lessons. Really appreciate Sudar. Sudar, I hope you'll be here next week. April says thank you. Enjoyed learning something new. And April, I think April was here last week with me. So I am so happy that you guys were able to tune in. And I'm going to take you out by showing you something about my website. I do have a website also where you can go and start from the beginning.